gone over most of them in the weekly outlook and in my chat. So if you have any question, you can ask and I can help to answer if I see them. So let's get started. With dollar index. So dollar index, if you call that, I was looking at this as a potential correction. We had a little bit deeper correction, if you recall. Nevertheless, I was still looking for a buy up here. Okay, I was looking for a buy overall out of some sort of this correction here and continue to move up. So we dropped down a little bit, that's fine. And then pop to the upside, we broke this top, right? We look at this, we broke this top. Okay, this is crucial. This is once we break a correction, and then are we getting a continuation? It really looks like it is, right? It looks like it's going to form some sort of expanding correction. And let's see what happened after this New York session. Okay, I do see we still have a few hours to go for the New York session. Can we push this up? If we do, that will confirm pretty much all my bias on the dollar pairs and all my bias that's moving forward. Okay, and remember the price was over in this area. During my weekly outlook, I mentioned there's possibly two possible ways. We could see the price drop down here, and then we're just creating a bigger expansion triangle structure before a reversal from the bottom and continue upwards. Okay, and so always keep in back of mind when you're trading, you always want to have a bias, right? My bias is long for the dollar, but I also know that price could easily pop back up, and then looking for a reversal from here, and that is my kind of my plan if the price doesn't go my desired direction. So that's dollar index. Let's go over a few dollar pairs. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar made a post this I think yesterday. Again, two options, right? Either push up like the dollar index and then look for a sell from the top, or just see a directly breakdown from here and then looking for a correction. It looks like we're at that spot now. So this is pretty crucial now. If we go to the intraday charts, we're just kind of consolidating here. Good, because the more it consolidate, the more it's in this kind of an evenly kind of price action, we're going to get that correction. And if we get that correction here, the risk reward looks pretty promising down to the lows here. Then you can get at least 3-1 here, if not more. So definitely looking pretty good, pretty clean. Go through all the dollar pairs. I think they all look very decent. Kiwi dollar, this one I missed, but I was talking about this in my weekly log and in my chat, right? We're looking at this as a double top from the recent kind of price action. And if we zoom out a little bit, we're just in this overall higher time frame kind of ascending channel, right? Higher time frame perspective, double top on higher time frame. We have this kind of a same thing, kind of ascending channel. If you notice, this is how price moves. For price to move down like this, it has to correct itself, right? We're correcting itself before the move down, and we're doing exactly the same thing here before the next move down. So higher time frame looks pretty clean. Intraday charts. Again, this is one of my patterns I was looking at, right? M style pattern. I mentioned this in my group a lot of time. Something I'm backtesting on, something I'm working on to make it to find out more consistency from the market. And what I like about it is that when I see these M style pattern performing at the top of the overall price action, okay, this is at the top of the overall price action. We just had a recent double top. We had a higher time frame double top, and we're looking very good for the next bearish run. Okay, this has to be appear at almost at the top of the price action for the structure to work out a little bit better. So anyways, how do I look this now? Well, same thing as Aussie dollar. We're just consolidating here, right? If it consolidate here a little bit longer, then definitely looking for a sell here. Definitely looking for a continuation, and then see if we're gonna break this low. And ultimately, if we break out this higher time frame structure here, and definitely see this move to continue down to the lows here. So whatever you see, either this trade or this trade get in, definitely think there's a lot of risk reward in this one. So that is Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi dollar, after let's jump to Euro dollar. Euro dollar, recall that when I'm looking at the structure here, when we're at the bottom here, I mentioned be careful. We're at the bottom here now. We can quickly see another bounce. So we did take that bounce, and that's why it made me not on my kind of a main watch list for dollar now, because we bounced off the bottom of the structure. Although during this time here, during the Asian session, we kind of had a reversal. To bring the price down. You can see that price is just consolidating here. It's not like how previous price action look. If we look at this closely, when we look at the bottom here, okay, these are a few bottom here, right? and there's really no consolidation. Once the price hit in this area, we see kind of an impulse right back into the price action. Okay, but not this time, in my opinion. Even this latest time, it popped right back, right? In the latest kind of price action, we're consolidating here, which is what I always look for if I'm going to look for a continuation. Okay, I made several posts here. Check this video out if you're looking for euro dollar kind of analysis. But overall, this to me is potential reversal structure from this move. It's not a continuation anymore. On a higher time frame, we're looking at a double top right here. Price has been consolidating here for pretty much since early August, right? So it's been like a month and a half of price action here. And if we zoom into the intraday here, if this is a correction for this move here and we actually break out, clear all this low here, and then we form a continuation correction here, I'm definitely looking for the sell, okay? Definitely. This is going to fit my trading plan perfectly for a larger structure breakout and then lower time frame continuation to push the price lower. So that's euro dollar, but it's not yet ready. Okay, so let me go through a few other ones that looks really good. Pound dollar. So I'm in pound dollar. I mentioned this in my group. Has been looking at this since the top, right? If you guys been following me, made a post all the way from the top here where this is what a trade I got into euro dollar, but I just missed. So that's why I did catch the pound dollar one. That's fine. I'm gonna miss trades, right? And that happens a lot of times. And then second opportunity was once we broke out this overall structure here. Okay, and I was mentioning that look for a correction here. So there was a correction here, but it was too small for my liking. I was looking for a bigger correction because I thought this move is pretty impulsively, and we need a larger correction to push the price down. Instead, we had a small correction. We pushed the price down, and then when price started going consolidating here, and I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for a larger correction, right? Because we just impulse out so hard. Okay, this is at least 700 pips or so. That's a massive move in such a short period of time. So clearly an impulse, and right after a strong impulse here, naturally I'm looking for some sort of continuation correction for the next push down. So how do I look at this now? Well, for the 1 hour, recall this, that I was looking for a short out of this correction. So we had a push out of that correction, and this was my entry. Talk about higher time frame breakout, right? Higher time frame impulse out, and then looking for a lower time frame correction here. Okay, that is my trade. I got into somewhere here, put the stop here. So almost take me out, right? Almost take me out in this spot. I think it was about 7 or 8 pips away or something like that. I was sleeping here anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Wasn't even know that price popped out anyway. I woke up, I think it was an hour ago, and I saw that price is resuming. So that's good. So that's why I don't really care. I won't even worry about if I get stopped out here because I'll look for more opportunity. Looking at it from a higher time frame perspective, we're just at the middle of this run. If we know how price action works, so we have a closed double top here. We pretty much had an impulse correction, and we're looking for the next impulse down to the lows here. And we're literally just halfway, not even halfway really. So if we broke out the higher time frame structure and then another continuation correction here, definitely see this move to continue all the way down here. Obviously, it will take time, right? It's not going to happen in days. It's going to take weeks or months even to resume back to the lows here. Okay, so that's how I trade on pound dollar. Still looking pretty good. Still looking for more downside. Okay. Let's go to dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, if you guys recall, I've been looking at this buy. I got in this buy actually somewhere here, I remember. And then I was mentioning that when you reach this top here, be careful because price can easily form a larger correction. Pretty much exactly what the price did, right? We had this pop to the upside. Okay, this is a clear breakout to me from a higher time frame, kind of a descending channel. And we pop off the descending channel, we're just forming a larger structure. Okay, and this is with a period of consolidation where there's going to be people buying and selling. Okay, I see a lot of people selling in this area as well. And this is why price is moving like this, because it's trying to fill all the orders of buy and sell. And once all the sell orders is filled, we're going to get the next impulse. Okay, that's pretty clear to me. That's how the market moves over and over again. And that's why I told people in my chat, I said, don't jump in the trade in this area. Let it consolidate a little bit longer, because you jump in and then you're just in this range of consolidation, right? You're in about like 100, 120, 150 pips or so of consolidation. So usually your stop is not going to cover that, right? We're trading, we're not investing. You're not going to hold a trade for 150 pip stop loss, right? So you're going to hold your trade 30, 40 pip stop or whatever your risk management is, and you're usually going to stop out in this area. So that's why I said wait for confirmation, right? I always talk about just because price broke out some higher time frame structure, wait for the correction here, which is exactly what we're getting in this area. Okay, this could be some sort of expanding kind of correction. Whatever it is, it's good because it's forming a correction. It's consolidating here. It's not just dropping right back down. So same thing as I think there's a few other pairs, right? Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar. They all look like they're going to form a correction here on this spot in this New York session. So it's all about picking one that is going to give you the best confluence and the best target. Dollar CAD, definitely looking for the next top as a potential target in this area. So if you form a correction here, look for the buy here, right? Looking for risk reward in this area. So that's dollar CAD. Excuse me. Let's go over dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss is not my favorite because there's just better dollar pairs to go for, but I'll go over this as well. Someone asked me to update this one. So descending channel on a higher time frame, and then we're looking at this as a clear impulse out. Clear impulse, we're just forming a larger kind of correction. And if we zoom in a little bit, pretty much the latest price action, we already have a correction, right? This looks to me as a pretty clear correction, and we're popping to the upside. So if you haven't jumped into this trade, I wouldn't jump into this now because we're starting to break up now. So look to see what the price will do in this top, okay? Look to see if we're going to reverse down from here, or we're going to just clearly break out. My experience tells me that it's just going to clearly break out, and then even break out this low because we're so close to the top here now. And once we break out here, correction here, look for the next top as the potential target. Okay, it's getting hot. Sorry, guys. So that's dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss. Let's go to dollar peso. So dollar peso made a post here. I think was at the beginning of the week. So looking at this overall structure as a continuation for this move down, so we had these kind of a descending kind of correction of price action. Latest price action is another descending channel within the larger descending channel within the larger flat kind of a correction. So as you see more correction and structures within the larger, it just gives you a better confluence that what this correction is going to do. So you can see that pop to the upside, or we're just consolidating here. Excellent, because this to me that it's going to form a correction here, and if we pop to the upside and then form a correction here, this will be always my buy to continue up at least to the top of this structure here, and this is definitely looking like at least 3-1 to me. So what I want to see now is just a little bit more clear breakout, clear kind of a continuation correction on the lower time frame, and look for the buy. Okay. And looking back to the daily, this is higher time frame. The reason why I have a very high kind of bias for the dollar strength also is that you can clearly see this is a period of consolidation. Sorry, this is the COVID. I don't want to say drop, the COVID rise, right? Because it's when the market is crashing, dollar strengthening. So we had this bullish push to the upside, and instead of a correction, this is a correction. Sorry, this is not a continuation correction. That's what I'm trying to say. Because for price action, when we see a bullish push out, we're naturally looking for a continuation correction to push the price higher. But instead, we get a reversal correction. We push the price right back down. So this is, to me, clearly an impulse move down. And we're just forming a larger type of correction. We need a longer, deeper correction before the next move down. And that's why I see the ultimate kind of a long term. If the dollar strengthen and push the price up, and then once we reach this area, I'll be looking for some sort of sell setup to continue the impulse correction and impulse downwards. Right, so that's dollar peso. So continue on. Dollar Singapore dollar. Looking at the intradays, so the intraday this is pretty clean as well. It looks pretty clean to dollar peso. We're in this kind of an expanding kind of a channel. You could call this as a descending channel as well. Whatever it is, it's pretty much reversing what the price has been doing. If we zoom out a little bit, we've been dropping since the COVID rise, and then we've been pretty much correctively moving the price down, as you can see, right? And we're reaching at the kind of a higher time frame area now of the channel. Okay, I just think that there's going to be a deeper correction before they continue downwards. And that's why I'm looking at most of the dollar pairs as potential strength in the upcoming days or week. So looking at dollar Singapore dollar, I like this overall kind of a flat structure. Price is kind of correctly moving in this area. And if we look down a little bit, we had this kind of a recent double bottom. Okay, we have this descending channel, and then price popped to the upside. And this is what I said, look for reversal buy opportunity, right? Looking for price to pop up out of this descending channel and then forming correction. So it's already consolidating here, good. That's what I mentioned in the analysis. There's either a buy opportunity here, or you wait for the breakout and then look for a buy here for TD. Okay. Personally, because I'm in a few in that pound dollar, I'm also in gold. I'll go over later. But because I'm in a few dollar correlated or dollar related kind of pairs, I'm not looking to just jump into the trade now. My best bet would be wait for that breakout, wait for that correction, and wait for this buy opportunity. Always going to give you the best risk reward and the safer trade to enter. Okay, so that's dollar Singapore dollar. Okay, and that's pretty much all the dollar ones. I think I went over most of dollar pair. I didn't go over dollar yen because it's just not on my watch list. It's not my favorite anyways. There's just better dollar pairs to go through. I got this question a lot. Why am I not looking at dollar yen all these weeks? It's because my bias on dollar is strength and my dollar on yen is strength. Okay, this is pretty much the easiest way to break down is I I do see the strength in dollar and I do see the strength in yen. So to pick dollar yen where it's pretty much fighting each other, and then there's no clear price action. And there is clear price action in this latest area. I'll explain this really quick, but not when it's in this area, not when it's in this area, okay, not when it's in this area, okay. It's just that it's a superior consolidation. There's no really clear price action. There's really no clear structures for me to capitalize it. Okay, but what I mean by latest, well, if I really want to look at the latest price action, well, simplicity is that this is a double bottom, clearly. We go into the intraday charts. This is clearly a descending channel. We had a breakout to the upside bullish, and we had a clear continuation correction. So if you ask me, this has a very good chance to at least hit the top here, and then see what the price will do. Okay, but I'm still not interested because I am biased on the long on the dollar, so this will work out. But I am also uh, bias for the strength in yens, which I'll go over really quick, which means that this can pop to the upside and just reverse back down, forming a larger structure like this. Who knows what the price will do, right? And that's why I'm trying to stay out of dollar yen. Okay, so hope that answers some of the question I got. So let's go to Aussie CAD. Moving on, I talked almost 20 minutes on dollars, so I apologize, but let's move on. Aussie CAD. This was brought up a couple times. I do like the structure overall. Remember I saying that all I saw from last week was just a recent double top. We could have this M style pattern, and price is consolidating in this area, which is good now because I'm seeing this as a potential structure. Okay, excuse me. This is an impulse to me out of this longer kind of a channel. Is a correction? Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, it's a little bit messy. It's a little bit wider than a correction I usually see, right? This is something I usually see, but this is a little bit wider, but it is still a correction nevertheless. So if you already entered here, I do see there's a potential. If you manage your stop accordingly, there is a potential to hit the bottom here. But can you get 3-1 here? Not sure, because 3-1 to me is always going to be my risk management plan anyways. So you might have a different risk management plan. I'm not sure. But in terms of price action, yeah, I do see this continue down to the lows and then reevaluate in this area. So that's Aussie CAD. Let's go Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss, yeah, because last week I was looking at this as a potential correction. Wasn't able to tell if it's going to a continued correction or a reversal correction back to the top here before the sell. And looking like it is going to be a continuation now for this move. It's just a little bit wider, a little bit expanding. Okay, but because we're still in this kind of a higher time frame channel structure, do see the potential reaching the lows of this area here, and then kind of reevaluate to see what the price will do. Okay, so that's Aussie Swiss. So moving on. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, sorry guys, right back on now. If we're all good, I'm gonna keep going. So Aussie Kiwi. So Aussie Kiwi, just another update because I was talking about that I got in this trade and I got stop out. Okay, I don't mind talking about this because a few of you guys asked me or probably asked me about this trade. I mentioned this in the weekly, but in my weekly outlook, but I'll go over this again. I mentioned that I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy to take a loss here. Okay, it's because that this trade fits my plan perfectly. We had a clear impulse, clear correction, and I was looking for the first kind of an impulse out of this larger correction, and then looking for a lower time frame correction to continue to the lows here. Okay, so in this trade, in this example, okay, it didn't work out, right? There was a correction here. I entered, price popped to the upside and quickly dropped down and continue to my desired direction. So if I was to, hold a larger stop, or don't let my stop loss execute, yeah, I'll still be in this trade. But that's not the right mindset. Okay, let me explain this quickly here because there was a question brought up on this. Is that you can look at this, what happened, and say, oh, you did the wrong entry or you did the wrong move. That's not how it works. You saw the result. You saw the result went to your desired direction, and you're asking yourself, oh, why didn't I leave a better stop or wider stop? Okay, that's really the wrong mindset in trading. Okay, in trading, you cannot tell yourself that, hey, I saw this move. Well, why didn't I capture this? You can't see the result and then be oriented. This is what we call result oriented. That's like saying, why didn't you catch gold when it was popping up above 2000, right? Because I didn't catch that, right? But people like, oh, why didn't I buy? Why didn't I buy? So the next time when they see the price moving, they're gonna jump in because they don't want to miss that buy. That's the fear of missing out, guys. Okay, so to me, I don't think that way because my strategy, my plan, my risk management works out perfectly. Okay, and I'm talking about there's going to be I know that if I execute my kind of strategy and style, there's a high probability I'm going to be in profit, but there's also a small chance that I'm going to be lost, and I accept that fully. I accept that because I entered this trade, I'm looking for a risk reward down to here. Okay, this is probably, I remember, 4 to 5 to 1. Okay, 4 to 5 to 1, your strike rate is not going to be high strike rate because there's just going to be time when this is going to happen. It's going to stop me out. But on a probability kind of sense, it's going to work out for me in the long run. I'm not going to enter here and set my stop loss over here and get like 2%. Just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm going to set like this because I know that we had a higher time frame correction, we had an impulse out, we had a lower time frame correction. So I set my stop just above the correction there and looking to capitalize what the move in this area. All right, and that is why I do over and over again in the market. Your goal as a trader is not to hit some one hit wonder, trying to capture like entire move in one go. It's just not going to happen. Okay, your job as a trader is to consistently make return in the market and consistently compound your account so your account size gets bigger and your same risk of your 1% is become bigger and bigger. So your reward, your profit is compounding as you go. Okay, so Ethereum, I'll go over at the end. Okay, I'm gonna go over currency, commodity, equity, and crypto in that order. So if you don't mind staying to the end, or you can rewatch it a little bit later, because I'm not gonna go over it until a little bit later. Apologize. So let's move on. Talk a little bit off random, but Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, all the yen pairs I'm gonna go over because they look pretty clean to me. So Aussie yen, if we look at the higher time frame, this is the higher time frame perspective. Remember Aussie dollar, I talk about every time when the price is going to move down, it's always going to be in some sort of a ascending kind of a style, kind of a structure. Okay, we're doing that exactly the same here. Okay, price, this is how price action works, guys. There's no better way to explain it. Back test it yourself, you'll see that that is just how the market moves. Okay, so we're in this kind of ascending channel. We're slowing down now. We pop out of this structure here. This is a pretty clear impulse out. So I like this move. Okay, there is a few probably lower time frame correction here together. I personally, if I was to try to get in here, is waiting for a larger correction here now because we already dropped so much. You see, we dropped this much. We actually bounced up, and it's still a correction nevertheless to push the price down. So don't be surprised. Price can do that. Okay, we can pop to the upside and then a correction here. But whatever it is, I don't want to just jump into the trade now because it already dropped so much. Wait for the market to correct itself a little bit and then continue the bearish move down to the lows here. Okay, so still a lot of risk reward. So don't worry about missing out 20, 30 pips. Okay, you worry about getting in the entry, getting into the setup correctly so you don't get stopped out easily, and look for potential target like this. So CAD yen was also one of my favorite. I went one of my yen's favorite to go through. Mentioned this in the weekly outlook. So we clearly broke this low here. Okay, we broke the lows here. We dropped down very impulsively. And from the high time frame perspective, I've been looking at this for weeks now. If most of you have been following me, looking at this is a potential reversal structure, excuse me, to push the price right back down to the lows here. And then if we see continuation, even down to the lows here. Okay. So going to the intraday, we already dropped so much. Okay, I was looking for an entry here. If you zoom in, I talked about this in the weekly outlook. I remember the price was forming some sort of correction here. I mentioned that for me personally, I would want to wait for another push up, something like this, something a little bit larger. Okay, because this move from the top is still pretty impulsive to me. Okay, so I was looking for a larger kind of a correction and then looking for the sell like this. But in this case, again, every case is different. We see a correction here and price actually dropped down. Okay, so how do I manage this now? If I was in the trade, well, if you got into this trade, I would definitely set to break even once this wick pretty much pop up to the upside. If you didn't get stop out here, then I would just move my pretty much stop loss to here and see what the price would do. If it takes you, that's fine. Maybe it's going to form a deeper correction. Okay, form a deeper correction, then you're still looking for the sell. Still seeing the sell is good, at least to the lows here. Okay, you can still get pretty good risk reward in this area and look to see what the market will do in upcoming days or weeks. Swiss yen, I'll go over euro yen because euro yen is just a way better than Swiss yen in terms of price action. So I made a post on euro yen. Higher time frame just looks beautiful. I think this is very clean to me that we are just at this kind of a reason double top area. Price is in this kind of a W structure kind of pattern, very similar like the M style pattern. It's always just a reversal, right? We're looking at some sort of double bottom, so double bottom in this case, and then looking for a double top, which is in double top in this case. So this M style pattern or W style pattern, they're all going to look very similar. It's what matters is how the price is reacting to it. So intraday charts, clearly a ascending kind of channel, so correcting, moving the price up. And then latest price action is in this kind of flat kind of structure. Clear head and shoulder to me. Okay, this is pretty much textbook to me. Okay, and then we see a bearish drop, and I was looking for a continuation here. So continuation here would be very valid. If those of you got in already, good. I see this as potentially keep dropping now. Okay, I see the potential of this drop to all the way down to here because we impulsively out of the structure here. We're at the top of the higher time frame. We still have so much room to the downside. This is pretty much the next lows, right? So super massive kind of a risk reward in this area. If you're already in the trade, definitely look to hold the trade and see what the price will do when we reach the bottom here. Okay, so that's euro yen. So let's move on. Let's move on to pound yen. So pound yen, I'm in, right? I mentioned this in the weekly outlook. I even entered this trade showing you guys what my entry was, right? So let's go over this really quickly. Just again, from a higher time frame perspective, looking at this as a clear impulse, and then we have a larger correction. And latest prices in this kind of ascending channel formation, pushing the price up. And if you guys been following me, I've been looking at this yen selling for like weeks now, right? I see this breakout from this ascending channel. I mentioned I'm looking for a deeper correction or a pullback to form some sort of head and shoulder pattern as well. So we see the price pop down. And then this was that correction now. I'm going to show you. And I mentioned look for a correction out of this area because it's going to be very good. I'm going to answer a few questions I got on the side as well on this one. So to me, this is a correction. Okay, it's just that a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people see this as potential reversal or a continuation. And to me, this is what key to really go multi-time frame analysis is that when the price is in this area, I got so many people on various platforms saying that this is going to be a long, okay, because they're looking at these candlesticks, looking at these doji, and the low tests. So all of these posts are saying they're going to go up now. And are looking at something they say there's like a support resistance or something like that, right? I don't trade support resistance. Excuse me. I didn't drink any water yet. So some people show me this post that there's some sort of support resistance here. So I'm just doing this for educational purpose. Okay, so no, not to say that doesn't work or anything. So apparently there's some support resistance line here. Okay, there's at least multiple rejections here, and we're sitting right here at this doji area, right? Support resistance line. Maybe they put a trend line like this. They're like, hey, we're right here now. We have 4 dojis, low test. This must go up, right? I saw these posts so many times, and this is why they don't work out. I'm gonna be very clear. It's not they don't work out every time. It's just in this case, it's very clear to me that this is going to be a down move, because they're too focused on just a few candles here and then some sort of support resistance line that is not relevant to what the price is here. We look at the price action from a price action structure point of view. This is an impulse, and we have a correctional structure. Okay, this is a large, higher time frame correction structure to correct this move from the. This is where the COVID drop happens, and once the correction is finished, we're going to get the next impulse. That is how the price moves: impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, that is just how the market moves. Doesn't matter any market, any price. Okay, that is just how the market moves, guys. There's no better way to explain this. Okay, and this is why when I go to the intraday charts, when I see this clearly a correctional structure, ascending kind of channel within this larger channel here, it's very good that we're going to see the next impulsive move. Okay, all this price action is corrective. This is corrective price action. Of course, there is some sell opportunity or some buy opportunity, whatever you see, but we're in the larger, higher time frame corrective phrase. But once we're in the impulsive phrase, which is what we're in now, okay, we're going to impulsively move down the market just like how we impulsively move down in this COVID drop. Okay, we're already halfway through if you look at this overall in comparison. This is the COVID drop. This is the COVID correction. We're getting the next drop like this to the lows. Okay, and my first target is just right here, the beginning of this correction here. Now, who to say that the price won't continue downwards like this? And I'll look for more opportunity like this in the moving upcoming weeks or months. Okay, and that's why I wasn't even thinking about possibility that this is a reversal structure to push the price. I know this is a correction. I'm seeing this as a continuation correction. Okay, so going to the trade, I got to last week, not last week, on my weekly outlook, right? I mentioned this was my entry criteria. I put a stop order here, put a stop order right just below this correction here, because to me, this is a higher time frame correction. We had a lower time frame impulse, lower time frame correction, looking for the next impulse. So pretty much tag me in on, when was this? Yeah, this was right after my stream, right? I remember right after my weekly outlook stream. And then this trade tagged me in. This trade tagged me in. I went to sleep, woke up a few hours later, and I pretty much got onto the New York session to enter a few other dollar pairs and stuff. But anyways, this is the trade I'm in now, and looking to target the lows here. Okay, this to me was 5.821 or something. So I already moved my stop to break even. After this week when I woke up, so it was somewhere here. I already moved the stop to break even, and then happy to just sit on the sideline and see what it will do. To me, this is clearly forming a correction again, right? It's a little bit messy. It has some wick pop to the upside and downside, but to me, it is a correction. I mentioned this over in my few of my other educational videos, few of my other analysis posts, is that I don't care if the wick pops to the upside or downside like this. All I care about is what the structure is doing. Is this an impulse? Yes. Is it consolidating, potentially forming a correction? Yes. So I don't care about the wicks. I don't care about these wicks. It's more about what the price is doing. Is it consolidating here? Yes, it is. And is this a fake breakout to me? Yeah, because when I see these breakout, people are trying to jump into these trades. But is there a lower time frame correction? To me, there is really no correction here. And that's why people caught off guard. They're going like, hey, this is going to go without me. I'm better jump in the trade here and quickly reverse back up. Okay. If you know that by heart, whatever you see, if you see this as a market manipulation, you see this as a stop loss hunting, or you see this as whatever the case. But instead of thinking so negatively, okay, I'm going to point out that I saw there's a few message on this. It's like whether you take this as a negative perception on, oh, this is market manipulation of these wicks or stop loss hunting, whatever you call, why not work with that? If you know this is going to happen, let's just, for example, thinking that there is market manipulation, there is stop loss hunting, which I don't necessarily agree, but nevertheless, if you think that's what's the market happen, why not capitalize on it? Okay, why not find out strategies or style or management to make sure that you don't get caught up in this kind of manipulation, in your words, right? If there's manipulation, if there's stop loss hunting, how to avoid it, right? Instead of blaming that there's stop loss hunting or blaming the market that there's manipulation, why not manage it better? If you know that market manipulation, stop loss hunting is not something you can control, so why are you controlling it? Why not control something that you can control in terms of management, entry criteria, risk management? That's something you can control. Okay, broker manipulation, market manipulation, stop loss hunting, whatever that in your own words, you cannot control it anyways. So don't worry about it. Control something that you can control. Hey, thank you very much. So saw a few. Sorry, saw questions on YouTube. I'll answer. What caused the pair to suddenly spike like that to break even to run stress-free trade? What caused the pair to suddenly spike? I like to break even to run stress-free trade. What caused it? Well, there's market volatility, right? That's just how the market moves. It's not going to move exactly the way you want it to move. And this is what I often find traders have a hard time understanding is that you think the market will go up this way? Sure. The market never has to go the way that you want it to go, right? You don't control the market. Okay, we're just traders, right? We're like retail traders. You're not gonna control the market by your mind. Okay, it's just get that through your head. You yes, of course, I want when I enter this trade here. I'm just example. I entered this pound yen trade. Yeah, I wanted to drop down like rain, right? I want to drop down in like a minute. I reach my profit. Is it going to do that? Never, right? Is it going to move down so impulsively or just in a straight line? Never. Okay, so it's not about why it did that. It's just that's just how the market moves. It doesn't have to move the way we want it to move. There's people buying and selling. There's entries. There's banks. There's institution. There's hedge funds. They're all trading, right? So the market is going to move. There's going to be reacting to what the market is doing. Okay, that's the way how I put it. It's not about other things that I mentioned, manipulation or stop loss hunting, whatever, right? Honestly, let me put it this way: your small account, the brokers is not gonna stop loss. If I'm a broker trying to stop hunt a trader, I don't care about your like point zero one lot, right? I care about those traders with the 10, 20, 30 lots that I'm gonna stop hunt them. Okay, so think about it like that. Your 0.01 lot is really irrelevant to the broker. Okay, why would they try to hunt you? Just doesn't make sense. Okay. Um, Love your explanation. Will be a long-term follower. I appreciate that. What is the difference compared to July? What is the difference compared to July not breaking down? What does that mean, Skywalker? What is different compared to July not breaking down? Is that question on pound yen? Apple, I'll go over Apple in a bit, okay? I appreciate that. Anyway, sorry. So let's resume. Okay, let's resume. Got a little bit off topic here, but Kiwi yen. So Kiwi yen, very similar like Aussie yen and Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, right? We've seen this as the overall breakdown from here. Okay, and we're just forming this larger structure. And if we zoom in a little bit, we had this clear kind of impulse, but you can really argue that this is ascending kind of shadow. We're at the top of the overall structure, and then, excuse me, we had an impulse down, and then lower time frame correction, and we pushed the price out of the structure. I mentioned this in my weekly outlook as well, right? So we pushed out of the structure and looking like we're consolidating here. So looking for a continuation out of here would be ideal, but higher time frame, right? Always look at higher time frame, multi-time frame analysis. We're closely to the bottom of the structure now. Okay, I do see this can potentially move down, but it's just that it's limited. Okay, It's limited because we're at the bottom here now. We could be forming a bottom here if we quite form reversal to pop the upside, but price may slow down because this is probably where a lot of traders will take profit anyways in this general area. Okay, because I'm seeing this on a higher time frame is that yes, I do see this as that short-term bearish move to the downside, but ultimately, if I'm seeing this from a higher time frame perspective, is that we had the COVID drop, okay, and instead of a continuation correction to push the price lower, we had a reversal kind of a structure. We then pushed the price up. So this is clearly an impulse on the higher time frame. This could be a continuation now, okay? This is not clear to me what it will do yet. It is clear to me from the top here that we're going good at the bottom here, but once we hit the bottom, it can really go both ways. If we see reversal here, this could be the continuation larger correction for this move here, or we break below and then correction down here to continue, then this becomes a reversal structure for this bearish move, a bullish move, and we'll potentially see the bearish move down to the lows here. Okay, and this is why you need to have forecasts, you need to have different perspective on the market, and identifying what you're looking for. Yes, I'm looking for a short period of sell, and then when the price reaches the bottom here, and then reevaluate to see what the price will do. Okay, so that's Kiwi Yen. So let's move on. I took a little bit slower than I usually did, but I apologize. I thank you guys for staying on. So CAD Swiss. So I'm still in CAD Swiss, still break even. Okay, this is another trade update. CAD Swiss still in this overall consolidation area. I still like the overall price. This is an impulse. This could be a correction, and we're getting to the lows here. If it take me out, happy to take a break even here. I still like the price overall. Liking the double top here. Liking this overall kind of ascending channel formation. We drop down, correction, impulse down to the lows. So happy to just stay break even for this way. Few pound pairs that I asked to update. Not seeing too much, to be honest. I do see that we had this bearish push down, but is this a correction here to form? Not very clear. It's a little bit consolidating, probably because there's a few buyers here, right? There's people trying to buy here now, so that's why it's consolidating here. I think there's a few other pound pairs that looks a little bit better. Pound dollar was one, pound yen was one as well. Pound Swiss, I'll go over this one. I mentioned this in my weekly outlook. Was looking for a short here or a short here. I personally didn't get any of that. Just couldn't catch the move. But overall, still see this as the impulse, correction, impulse, right? So what the price is doing here now, while it pulled back a little bit steeper, this could be a kind of a sandy kind of channel. And when we see price break down like this, is this some sort of structure? Yeah, yes or no. It's a little bit messy. And just because to me, the sell is limited, okay, I'm always looking for the next lows or next kind of a beginning of this correction as a first target. And then if I'm not getting 3 to 1, I'm not getting too much risk reward in this area, I'm not too interested. Because we're sitting at the lows here, and that's key now. We're at the lows here. While I do think this impulse can continue, but price doesn't have to follow what I think, right? I mentioned that earlier, is I'll react to what the price will do. Is it going to break down to here and then form some sort of reversal here before the next up move, and the next up move to this area, and this becomes a larger structure to correct this move, and we can potentially see the next down move. Okay, so a few possible scenario, a few possible alternative, but for now, not too interesting in the sell. Just want to see a little bit more development from the market. Okay, and pound kiwi, nothing much to update here. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my currency updates. Okay, that's my currency update. Currency kind of outlook on this one. If you have any questions, throw it at me to take a look in terms of currency. Does news affect the market? That's a good question. To me, news creates volatility. Okay, meaning that there's going to be a period of a lot of high volatile movement, buying and selling. But does it affect the market long-term wise? I don't agree. I don't think it affects the market in terms of price action structure. It will create volatility. Let me explain that. Let me go through. This is a dollar index, by the way. And then this is the period of time where there's the FOMC meeting. Okay, those of you that know, that's the U.S. Federal Reserve Committee and stuff like that. So there's some news here, right? You can clearly see this is a lot of movement in like 5 minutes. Okay, if you really look at the range of this, you're looking at it moves about 40, 50 cents in a matter of minutes, right? That is volatility and that is the news. But does it create directions in terms of what the higher time frame will go? I don't think so, because if we zoom out on a higher time frame, that was just a period in this area. That was a period just in this area where it's not much to use, just consolidating here. But overall price action, we had a descending channel, we had an impulse, we had another correction, and looking like we're getting another impulse. Okay, that is really the difference. Okay, so this is why I see the news. It does create volatility in short period of time, and once the market calms down, we're going to resume what it was going to do. Okay, so hope that answers your question. So that's, if no other question on currency, let's jump to commodities. So sugar, surprisingly, this is a sugar that was straight, and I updated last on my weekly. I was saying that looking like it's going to take me out for a loss, and I'm happy to just take a loss anyways because that fits my plan perfectly. It fits my plan of the impulse, larger correction, another impulse, another larger correction, and we had a lower time frame breakout, and then lower time frame continuation correction to pull a buy, and reaching to the recent top for about 3.1 to 1 or something, 3.3 to 1. I remember I moved this slightly by accident, but it was about 3.3 to 1. So yeah, anyways, that fits my plan. And I think when I did the update, I was saying that, oh, it's likely going to tag me out, but surprisingly it didn't. It was like few cents away, surprisingly. So I'm still in this trade. If I see price break above this high now, okay, which is likely you're doing now, if it breaks this high, I'll just set my stop loss to break even. I'm happy to see what the trade will do. Even if it dropped me out to a loss, I'm still happy to take this loss. Okay, this is the mindset and perspective part, is that I'm happy to take a loss on a good trade. Okay, I'm happy to take this trade over and over again, in fact, even though the outcome is a loss. Okay, and that's really the perspective. If you're not backtesting your strategy or style, you're not having full confidence of it, that every time you execute a trade when it's at a loss, you're going to question yourself. You're going to question why is it not working in your favor or whatever. It's just not a very healthy kind of trading style. Okay, so that's sugar. Let's update silver and gold. Okay, silver and gold. So you guys know me. Have you guys been following me? I've been talking about all the sell, all the bearish move on silver and gold, especially. How do I determine my stop loss in sugar? Yeah, let's go over that. Very simple, because I see a breakout from this correctional structure. I just set an entry order like this and set a few pips below the correction like this. This time I opt for a bigger stop loss because for commodities, based on my experiences, it doesn't really it doesn't always just bounce off the correction before it comes. So I'm just happy to leave a little bit more stop, a little bit more room around pretty much above this correction here. And then as long as I can fit 3 to 1 to my target, I'm happy to extend my stop loss area a little bit wider, because to me, making 3.5 to 1 or 3.1, 3.2 to 1 is not too irrelevant. What's irrelevant is that my stop is going to be applicable to this sense. Okay, hope that answers your question. I will go over gold. I'm going to go over silver and then gold. So silver, remember I was talking about that when we see this correction here and then we're slowly breaking down and then looking for this completion of this correction here. Okay, there's a potential correction after this impulse, and then looking for a breakout and looking to see what the price will do in this low. So we're pretty much approaching it now. Okay, so if you got in this trade, I think someone got in the trade, good, and looking to hold the trade if you're in the trade. Okay, and excuse me, we'll see what happens in this general low area. Okay, let's go over gold. I'm in the gold, right? So let's go over gold. I've been talking about this for weeks, right? If you guys been following me, I've been talking about gold for sell every when I see this strong bearish push. Whereas a lot of people are buying here, right? A lot of people buying because it breaks some 2000 level, it broke the all-time top, and see what price does is that it catches all the people to buy, and then we just collapse like this, taking everyone out. And again, you could see this as some sort of market manipulation or something like that to make you feel better, or you can say, okay, so I see this move over and over again in the market. How do I deal with it? How do I capitalize something like this? How does it work for my trading style management to incorporate something like this into my plan, right? Instead of thinking it negatively, okay, I'm trying to be as uh, enthusiasm and as educational as I can. Is that instead of being negative about the outcome, try to think solutions. Okay, try to think ways that you can counter something like this. Instead of thinking this is all market manipulation, market is going after me, my broker is stop hunting me. Try to think alternative. If you think that's the case, so how do you manage it? Do you still want to be a trader, or are you gonna give up because you think the market is manipulating itself, right? Why not take into consideration? Okay, so I noticed this happen a lot in market. We break some high, we break some resistance, we break some support. People jump into the trade, and then market collapse the other way. So how do I capitalize it? Well, if you know that's what's going to happen, so don't buy, right? Don't buy. First of all, fear of missing out, take that off, right? Don't worry about buying, right? It breaks some resistance. It's going to break this 2000 level. So don't jump in the buy yet. Wait for some sort of correction here. Wait for some larger, deeper correction before the next buy. So did we get a correction? No. Instead, we get a reversal structure. We push the price down, and then we pretty much get a continuation structure to push the price back, right back to where it started, right? A lot of people are holding their buy position thinking this is just going to be a deeper correction. Nope. Tag all of them out, right? This dropped pretty impulsively. So anyways, how that's why when I see something like this, I'm looking for sell, I'm looking for sell, I'm looking for sell, right? Because that's just how the market moves. It moved down impulsively, naturally looking for some sort of correctional structure, correctional structure to push the price down even more. And in this case, if we zoom into the latest price action, excuse me, we pretty much, when the price is in the area I mentioned, if we get this impulse and then we get a correction here, this will definitely be a trade down, okay? So we get this pretty much a perfect kind of a flag, if you want to call it, ascending kind of channel, and then we had that impulse up. So I set an entry order just below here. It's pretty simple, right? My usual entry criteria, I put a stop loss here, put the stop loss above the high, a stop order, sorry, not stop loss. I put a stop entry order here, and I put my stop loss above the high, and then looking to see the down move. So, all right, see how we already broke the lows here, and I moved my stop loss to just above, just in front of this correctional structure here. So it's about 1-to-1 risk reward I secure, and I'm happy to see what the price will do. Looking like it is going to continue downwards now. We had a recent kind of double top, and looking like this is an M-style pattern to continue downwards, and looking to see what the price will do in this general area. Sorry, I can't talk. I know like my mouth is getting dry. Sorry. Do you do intraday trading? I think we have to elaborate that a little bit more. I do trading because my analysis is based on higher time frame. Okay, my entry is on intradays. So I think what you're trying to say is, do I do some day trading like scalping and stuff? I don't do scalping. What I trade is multi-time frame analysis. My analysis is always going to come from the higher time frame, and then I execute them on lower time frame charts, lower time frame corrections, lower time frame price action to give me the best risk reward. Okay, so that is gold. Okay, any questions on these ones? Can you go over natural gas? Yeah. Went over natural gas on weekly outlook, and I mentioned that wasn't too interesting when the price is in this overall area. I was looking at a breakout and continuation upwards, right? So if it doesn't happen, then when we see the price drop down here, and last 2 days ago, or weekly outlook was a day and a half ago, I mentioned, can we get a correction here to push the price down lower? If it does, it will be a continuation sell. But instead, price is already pushing down. So sometimes that happens, right? We had a push down. This is really a smaller correction. I was kind of looking for a larger correction here. But sometimes that happens. You're going to miss out on sell opportunities like this. Looking like it's forming another sell like this to continue downwards. So how do I see this now? Well, I'm not interested in the buy or sell. This is higher time frame. We didn't quite reach this double top, but pretty much price is reacting to this area. We are crashing down like this. And looking at the higher time frame, I'm still looking at this as a potential buy, right? Because if we zoom out a little bit, we're just at the bottom. If we looking at this weekly overall kind of structure, we're at the bottom of the structure. We might reverse all the way down here, even to the bottom of this channel here. Excuse me. Even if it does, that's perfect because I'm gonna look for the buy opportunity from the bottom. This is not going to drop any more lower. If you look at the overall price action, it dropped a lot. This is clearly a bearish impulse. And bearish impulse, you're looking for continuation. Was there a continuation? No. And then now it takes about, let's see. So if we zoom out here, we're since 2009, okay, that's like 10 years ago. We're just in this kind of a sideways consolidation. The price has been managing moving up and down, okay, managing moving up and down, but we're not breaking out of the structure and we're not breaking below it, okay. So the longer, the deeper, the lengthier of this correction goes, the more I would say neutral that it will go, okay. That's the word, is that this is a bearish impulse. This is no longer a continuation correction to push down. Instead, this can be a neutral, which means it's potentially becoming a reversal kind of a structure correction. And if we come down to the blows here, and then there's reversal here on the intradays or our lower time frame, then potentially we can see the next push up, okay? But it might just be consolidating here a while longer, okay? As long as in this is within this larger kind of a channel, it's pretty much in the neutral perspective in terms of higher time frame. It could go up, it could go down, but within this channel wise, every time when it's at the bottom, you could be looking for the buy, right? Every time when it's at the top, then look for the sell, okay? So that's what I see on natural gas. Not too interested in this area though. If I was to look into this deeper, then I would wait for the price to consolidate and drop down lower and see if there's reversal to potentially push the price up. Okay, so that is natural gas. So if there's no question on these commodities, I'm going to jump to a few indices. I'll go over most of these indices. I think they all look pretty clean. There's a lot of questions on these ones as well. So Aussie 200, we had this kind of a channel structure. We broke out, and this is to me a kind of a continuation correction. We had an impulse up down now, and just the last bit, maybe it's correcting itself. Okay, but I still like the overall kind of a downtrend potential on this one. Okay, so I'll go over these really quickly. I went over them, at least I went over some in the weekly outlook, and they're all going to look pretty similar in terms of price action, anyways. So China 50 impulse correction, another impulse. This is a lower time frame correction. Potentially seeing the breakout here, and then resuming the bearish move from here. German 30 and Euro 50 and France 40, they're pretty much identical. We're in this overall large channel. We broke down from this channel, and we're potentially consolidating here. So looking like it's going to form a continuation on the lower time frame, and we can continue lower like this. And Euro 50, pretty much similar price action, right? Correction here would be nice to push down to the lows. France 40 broke down a little more because we're approaching to this low now. Okay, we're approaching to this low area. So yes, it looks like it can continue downwards, but I think the other two that I just went over looks a little bit more clean. Nifty, I talked about this last week, that this is a potential continuation correction. We broke down, and there's potentially some sort of correction here. Personally, I wasn't interested in it anyways, and price is dropping down now, and we pretty much broke this low. Okay, we're breaking this low, and price is consolidating here, likely on the intradays. Yep. So another correction here to push down the price, very likely. Okay, so watch for this one for those of you who are into Nifty. Let's move on to NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, was looking for a sell out of this correction here. I think some of you guys got in. I was looking at the trades. Some of you guys got in on this one, and maybe some of you guys got in on this one as well. But we're rebounding back a little bit. That's fine. Okay, sometimes we see indices move like this, but overall downtrend very still possible, very possible to continue as well. So be a little bit patient on this one. S&P 500 dropped down a little bit more than Nasdaq. Same thing kind of price action. We had this kind of a decent ascending channel to push the price down, another lower time frame correction to push the price down, and this could be a potential another correction to push back. We pop to the upside, right? We see these happen a lot, and this looks like it could reverse. But actually, it's just forming a correction here to push out the price lower. So S&P still looks really good. Reevaluate to see what the price would do in this lower area. And this can very likely to continue the downtrend, right? I mentioned this on a higher time frame perspective, is that we broke the all-time high. This is before the COVID drop, and we broke it in an ascending kind of correctional format. We're slowly kind of correcting itself. I wanted to see what will happen in this general area. I do see a correction is needed, but I don't see it continue down to where the COVID end was, okay? I do see a correction down to the lows here before some sort of reversal to continue the uptrend. That is what I see from a long-term perspective. And last one, Dow Jones. Dow Jones broke out the structure. Remember, during my weekly outlook, I said NASDAQ and S&P looks a little bit more cleaner because it broke out of the higher time frame structure, whereas Dow Jones haven't. But looking at it now, I like how this is a left shoulder, head, right shoulder breakout of a head and shoulder. We broke out this kind of a structure here. All I'm looking for is a lower time frame correction here. This looks a little bit more cleaner now than NASDAQ because we broke out. NASDAQ had this kind of a potential reversal, whereas Dow Jones is looking clean for a continuation. We'll see what happened to the lows here and the lows here. Okay, so that is mostly the indices I'm looking at. They're usually, I'm looking at it all pretty bearish anyways. So moving on to few equities that I'm looking at that is bearish. I mentioned this Berkshire Hathaway 2 weeks ago as well, is that waiting for a breakout because this is a larger kind of continuation structure for this bearish move. Excuse me. And I'm losing my sound. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. And then we had this price pushing to the upside. And then if we had that bearish push to the downside, a lower time frame correction would be ideal to push the price lower. And then this will becomes a head and shoulder pattern like this. Okay. So that's Berkshire Hathaway. MasterCard, talk about this last week as well. When you, sorry, remember I went talk about this. When you see price break the all-time high, this was a previous high before the COVID. Be careful. Is there a correction to continue? Nope. We instead get this bearish impulse right back into right below that all-time high, and then a continuation correction. We broke out, so more continuation is likely to happen to push the price lower. And this again, head and shoulder. You always want to see these head and shoulder at the top of the overall price action. It's going to be the best. It's going to work out the higher probability, right? You see, we broke the all-time high, okay, with this impulse, and then instead of a continuation, we didn't happen. We ran right back into below the all-time high, and then form this right shoulder to continue lower. Okay, so that's MasterCard. McDonald's, yeah, McDonald's looking now, right? I've been talking about it since the price was here, right? We broke the all-time high, well, not all-time high, sorry, the previous high. Okay, and again, we broke the previous high in a corrective kind of a ascending channel formation, and then you can argue that this is a ascending channel within the ascending channel. And the latest price action, we had an impulse breakout, and then looking like it's consolidating here. So if it form a correction here, I definitely see this move to continue and see what happened to the lows here or the lows here. Obviously, it won't drop in one go. I do see this continue up, down like this in the corrective way as well. So that's McDonald's. Moving on to Visa, similar, just quickly, very similar like Visa, right? We broke the all-time high, and then we had this price drop down. We had a correction here, and then we're potentially dropping down more. Lower time frame correction here would be ideal to continue to the lows here. So that is Visa. And that is pretty much all the equity one. Since I'm all bearish on the indices anyway, so I'm only looking at a few stock that also looks bearish. So let's jump to crypto last. I think crypto was asked by a lot of you guys anyways. So Amazon, please. Not seeing too much on Amazon. I was looking for a buy when the price was in this area. This was, yeah, end of July, I remember. We had this bullish push up. We potentially forming a correction. I was looking at this potentially moving down once more before the up move. And that would be kind of my buy entry. But price didn't do that. We instead just kind of pushed to the upside, but it didn't really push too much before this drop now. So how do I see this now? Well, structures are ever changing, right? We break a high here. We're potentially moving up in this ascending kind of channel formation, and we broke down. So is it going to be a lower time frame here to continue lower? This is kind of a slanted head and shoulder as well. Again, top the overall price action. So if it forms some sort of right shoulder or a correction here, I do see there's short-term kind of a sell, and then looking at the lows for a potential kind of a target. Okay, that is what I see Amazon. Let's just go over a few crypto last. Okay, I've been talking about for an hour, so I hope to wrap it up after all these crypto. So let's talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, if you've been following me, I've been looking for a sell. Okay, I wanted for the sell pretty much to see what the price will do if it correct itself. Okay, not looking to empty right here. I want to see a little bit more confirmation, right? So price popped to the outside, and I see this structure more like a ascending channel formation. If we zoom into what the current price action, you can see that we're seeing this is a left shoulder head, right shoulder with the ascending kind of channel, a continuation correction for this move, and we had this impulse breakout. And I love the consolidation here. We consolidate a little bit longer, this becomes a continuation correction and potentially pushing price down to the lows here. Okay, that is what I see on Bitcoin. Ethereum, very similar idea, very similar setup. In fact, it already happened. Okay, I personally didn't get into this, but looks very clean, right? Because we had that impulse breakout, we had a ascending kind of channel, and then latest price action, we broke out, and then potential correction, and we broke down again. So how do I manage, or if you're in the trade? Well, it looks like it's going to form another correction here. So look for the price to continue down to the lows, and then definitely move your stop loss to break even or in some profit, because this is all I'm always going to target anyways. Okay, this is all I was going to target if I was in the trade anyways. Okay, I see the lows as a potential target anyways. Price pop to the upside, and then we still have a little bit more room to go, but I don't want to really sell below this level. Okay, I think this is a pretty good short-term sell, but nothing extend more than that. Okay, looking at a few other ones. A few ones I see that could have bullish opportunity. I'll go over them relatively quick. Still look Dash is good. We had this impulse. We had this impulse up, and then potential kind of a channel, a steeper channel kind of structure. Not interesting until I get the breakout and then correction here. Link, very similar. We had this kind of a similar kind of channel structure like Dash, right? Even if breakout here and correction, not too interested. I want to see the full breakout and then continue upwards. This is always going to be my move after we broke out this larger structure here. So that's Link. And Ripple Bitcoin, still looking for the buy, right? Buy out of the structure and then lower time frame continue like this. And Ripple itself, looking like it can form a mini correction here like Bitcoin and Ethereum, pushing the price down lower. And then once it reached the bottom of this overall channel structure, looking for the buy move like this. Definitely see the buy move very, very promising. Okay, we're at the bottom of this overall price action. Excuse me. We had an impulse, correction, looking for the next impulse. Okay, it doesn't get cleaner than this in terms of price action. Okay, everyone, so that is all my crypto update. That is all my crypto updates. If you guys have any questions, happy to answer any questions you guys have. So Can I go over? Yeah. So go over pound dollar again. Yeah, no problem. So pound dollar, I'll start from the top. If you missed it from the beginning, uh, remember from the top here. Let me go to high time frames. From the top here, I was looking at potential a double top here. Okay, we've been correctly moving up the price. Latest price action is kind of a ascending channel within this larger ascending channel. Going to the intraday, there is a few possible sell opportunity in my opinion. This is a ascending channel again within this medium ascending kind of channel. And then we see the price breakdown. I mentioned this could be a first potential sell opportunity. I personally didn't get it because I was in euro dollar. Okay, but I think this sell overall is good. And I got this question a lot, like, excuse me, how do you deal with losses, or not losses? How do you deal with missing trades? And I always tell them it's fine to miss trades, guys. Okay, it's fine to miss trades because I'm not capitalize other trades anyways. Okay, that sometimes it happens. It's all about your mindset. Is if I catch euro dollar and pound dollar works better, are you gonna be mad at yourself? No, because at the time euro dollar had a better price action than pound dollar, so I choose euro dollar over pound dollar. I wouldn't know the result. Okay, I wouldn't know the outcome, but I'm basing on my decision at the current time, what is available to me, what is the price action, what is my confluences. If euro dollar had a better confluence, I'm going to choose euro dollar. This time pound dollar works out better, but hey, that happens, right? So anyways, we had a clear bearish drop. Okay, we are forming a potential continuation correction here. Okay, which is good. And when it's forming like this, I'm already looking for some sort of sell setup, right? I'm looking for uh, a completion of the structure, either a price push up one more time to a potential reason double top, or we see a bearish breakout and a bearish continuation. So I opt for option number 2. We broke out, and this was a mini correction here, and we can potentially push down the price lower. And looking at the price action now, if we break this low and then we continue down, and then looking at this as a first target, this will be 4.421. And if we can continue lower and break out and then more continuation like this, likely to hold this trade and then look for more sell opportunity like this. Okay, so that is pound dollar. Any other question, guys? Any other question before I end the stream here? Happy to answer more questions or any pair that you want me to go over before I end the stream. I've been talking about an hour 15 already, so happy to answer a few questions if you guys have. Any question related to trading, I'm happy to answer as well before I close this one. I only know stocks and option. Are you buying options where you go 3-to-1 ratio? I'm not buying options. I don't trade options either. I would trade stocks as a investment, meaning that I would buy it to hold it for long term, like an equity growth. But I'm not looking to do options. I know what that is, but I'm not looking to get into that. Okay, because stocks and equity for me is more long-term growth rather than trading. I know obviously people trade stocks and options, but for me, because I trade mostly currencies and crypto, and I'm not looking to trade stocks. I'm looking to invest in stocks. Okay, I can buy a stock and I can hold it for a longer period of time. Okay, that to me is investing. Trading is buying and selling within a certain period of time, right? So that is my answer to that. Okay, so if no questions, okay, I am happy to end the stream here. If you guys don't have any more questions to ask me, uh, again, I do all these updates, okay, I do all these updates to my Telegram channel for free, okay, I do all lessons, updates, all that stuff. So if you're interested, add me into these. I'll post the links here. If you're interested, you can add me to the Telegram. You can ask me questions here. You can chat with others. I post all my videos, all my contents, all my analysis, and all my market updates on all these channels. If you're interested, you can add them, and they're free anyways. So I don't charge anything for anything I do. So feel free to join and interact with everyone. All right. So I think that's it. I think this is a pretty good session. I see a lot of newer people, anyways. So hopefully to see you guys in my chat. If not, be safe, everyone out there. I think market is looking very good, right? I mentioned the dollar pairs. I mentioned the yen pairs. Okay, so definitely get into those. Commodity wise, I mentioned gold and silver, right? Gold and silver still look really good. And sugar, surprisingly, I'm still in. So looking to move my stop loss to break even once I break this high here. And indices, Nasdaq, S&P, and Dow Jones, they'll look pretty decent for continuation. And crypto, only looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum for that short-term bearish sell, right? Short-term bearish sell to the lows. Sorry. Okay, so that is my update for this New York session, and look to make another update either on London session or a New York session the following day or so. So I will get to see you guys again. But if not, happy to answer any questions on the stream here or answer any question in YouTube or talk to me in Telegram. All right. So thank you very much, guys, and hope you guys have a wonderful day and see you guys next time. All right. Thank you very much.